maybe people are going to hate me for saying this, but over the holiday, I rewatched 10 Things I Hate About You.
Oh, you didn't like it? Because people love that. I love that movie. Oh, I've never seen you hesitant to share an opinion before.
I didn't like it. It's not good. It's not.
Was it your first? I disagree. Was this your first time watching it? You're rewatching.
It was my second time ever watching the movie, but the first time I must not have been paying very close attention. Because the scenes were going by and I was really trying to pay close attention to what was happening.
Okay.
And I realized like the dialogue just sucks.
I love it.
And like,
wait, what?
Also Heath Ledger, not a good actor.
Yes, he is.
At least not in there. No, you're only saying that Heath Ledger is a good actor because of Joker. If it weren't for Joker, you wouldn't say that. I tried to watch, people are going to hate me for saying this too. I also watched A Knight's Tale.
As you say, what about A Knight's Tale?
At the same time. And I was like, let me give this another shot. Like, maybe he's not.
I think most people list his good acting script. Is also Brokeback Mountain.
I never saw that, and I never will. But like, it just wasn't good. I feel like there are all these movies that people just remember being good, especially if there's an actor in it that prematurely died, as he did. They're just gonna have a more fond memory of it than it is in reality. I felt the same way when I watched 16 Candles. I'm like, this is like this classic John Hughes movie that people love and remember so fondly. And then I watched it and none of it made any sense, and it was dreadfully boring and stupid. Well,
I'll tell you why I like 10 Things I Hate About You so much. Or it says that the cat's character would be so much more insufferable if it was done today, that it could have only have been made at that time, because the idea of the Sylvia Plath reading feminist who listens to, feminist punk and stuff was great for the time. And if it's done now, they would never allow her to fall for the guy in the way that she did, who's the granted, he grows throughout the movie. Like, he changes.
No.
Yes, he does.
No, because when I watched it, I was like...
He's very emotionally closed off in the beginning, and he ends up falling for her. You're wrong.
No. What he is in the beginning is not emotionally closed off. What he is in the beginning is a psychotic, violent criminal. Then he goes on a date with her, and suddenly he's a nice guy.
I'm gonna soften it to emotionally distant and closed off.
No,
I'm gonna soften it to
like literally stabbing a frog's corpse with a knife.
And it's just like the dad from that is like, I love the dad from that.
I believed in the potential for their romance before he became the nice guy. If he
stayed the same.
If he just stayed being a psychotic criminal.
But that's not the point of these types of movies. The point of the movie is to be aspirational and to see, however comically and over the top it is to see somebody who is a certain way change and grow through their interactions with somebody who brings out a better person in them. That's supposed to be the point.
How would someone as rotten as her bring out the good side in anyone?
There is the argument to be made, right, that it's like why would he even be that way about her?
And it's like, it's probably because so many tropes came out of 10 Things I Hate About You, but the trope was like, like it was a bet, but then I ended up falling in love with her, but then she found out about the bet and she was like, how could you? And then he comes and he's like, I'm sorry, I fell in love with you. And then she's
like to know if that's ever happened in the real world.
But anyone
like somebody...
No, the whole thing is completely unbelievable, because guys in high school don't care that she's a bitch. If she's attractive, it doesn't matter.
But the thing is that is now so nowadays, this is actually one of my biggest arguments is that like most of it is not that movies are more ham-fisted with their political messaging now, but it's also tied to the fact that a lot of the entertainment that you watched in the past was before someone was a political person, so you don't have the taint of your knowledge of the way the directors, the actors, and politicians think. So doing that movie now, even if it's the exact same movie, she comes off immediately more insufferable because you think that the writer was doing it for selfish reasons rather than narrative reasons. That they're putting a feminist character in there because they think that feminism is good, rather than do they believe that in this movie? Yes, but it also narratively offers a strong contrast to the other character, showing her growth by the end, right? But if you watch it now, you don't even get to the end of the movie because she's immediately insufferable and annoying. But also the other characters are like, when she introduced, what's the lady's name? The lady who plays this guidance counselor, and she's writing the
smut on her computer, yeah.
Quivering member.
Yeah.
What's that actress's name? I always forget that actress. She's very famous. But like, I still find that movie to be unbelievably endearing. Just me, personally. But maybe it's the type of thing that if you were to watch it now with all the baggage of modern society, you wouldn't look at it.
No, it's not. I don't find it repulsive that she is a feminist character. That's not even what bothered me.
I'm just trying to explain the narrative, like what people would look at, how people would look at it differently now, as opposed to.
But my criticism isn't about her,
Allison Janney, being
a feminist, because I'm just saying it's incredibly hard. No, it's impossible to believe that all of these teenage boys at her school refused to even associate with her because she's a bitch. When in reality, like if we're talking about real life, she is an incredibly attractive girl who happens to be a bitch, so they don't care. But like they wouldn't care that she's a bitch.
The point wasn't for the movies aren't supposed to represent real life. It's also true that a girl who wears a ponytail is not ugly inherently. But there was also articles written about how we need to stop shaming women who wear ponytails and they said that movies caused that. That movies made people think that women who wore ponytails are ugly. Who
said that?
This was an actual stuff.
Was that an article in Mary Sue?
Back in the day, yeah, absolutely.
You're kidding.
I'm just saying that these are the things, like the movies aren't supposed to always represent reality. It's telling a story. There are heightened versions of archetypes.
Okay. Like, I can grant that and also say that the narrative they came up with sucked.
I still loved it.
And Heath Ledger, like, the funny thing, the only reason I mentioned that was because you mentioned the accent thing. So he's Australian, obviously. And then I guess they just couldn't get him to, cooperate with a dialect coach. Okay. Because he was just Australian in the movie. And they, like, gloss over it in one line of dialogue where she's like, so, like, what's with the accent?
Still has some of my...
He didn't even put in the effort to, like, be an American character.
I know you can be overwhelmed and that you can be underwhelmed, but can you ever just be whelmed? I think you can in Europe. Like, for years, I thought that was a line from Clueless, and I forgot that was from...
It sounds like it could be.
From this. Some of David Krumholtz's best work as Michael, when they're, like, him and Cameron, the two boys, and they're, like, he's going after the sister.
I don't remember.
Her sister, which is, what's her name? Bianca.
Oh, yeah. Right. Yeah.
Like, I liked their arc more.
I agree.
The part where she gives him the kiss in the car and he like, his legs go nuts and he, like, hits the steering wheel 5 times. Like, that's more emotionally evocative than a lot of the stuff that happened between Kat and him. But, like, again, the dad who wants to, like, you can't get married and have sex until you're 30. And, like, the overly protective dad is still a great archetype.
Yeah, they wouldn't write that today.
Like, he's endearing.
For sure. But like, it's because he's an OBGYN and he thinks that birth is, like, disgusting. So he doesn't want his daughters to get pregnant, but he's fine with it if they date and have sex with boys. Just as long as they use condoms. Like, that was his version of being overprotective. Okay.
I'll always love that movie, and it like, it could be the type of thing where
there's that scene where they're doing the paintballing, right? They're paintball fighting.
I love it.
And then they fall in a bale of hay.
All of that scene, that entire scene, is predicated on him, like, pushing the hair out of her face when they're on the ground there.
I know that.
Yeah.
I just thought it was stupid.
Again,
I don't know why. It's just for some reason.
You need more whimsy, man.
No, I mean, it's not about the whimsy. It's just that the writing was bad. And like, I watched something like Clueless, and I think it's genius.
Well, but those are the concept and the vibes of those two movies are vastly different. The concept and the tone of Clueless is far more in line with your personality.
I suppose so. It's also based on Jane Austen.
The person who's taught when we talk about like enjoying the pettiness of Ryan Reynolds dunking on Justin Baldoni in his movie, that is a person who is going to fall in line with liking the tone of Clueless.
Okay.
And Clueless was far more endearing probably to adults than 10 Things I Hate About You would be. Mm-hmm. I love that she's like, but here's the other thing. Every aspect of the characters is heightened. So she's not just a feminist. She's a feminist who goes to she goes to the record store. And
she reads the feminine mystique.
And what was it? The Bell Jar, whatever.
There's a scene where she literally takes a massive copy of the feminine mystique and slams it into his chest. And he's like, like that has probably indoctrinated an entire generation of women to be bitches, thinking that it will get guys to like them.
I mean, people talk about that now. They say
it only works if you're hot.
Men think, or like women think that being a strong, independent woman means being snarky and being a jerk, when that's not actually what that means. Right. Yeah.
But it's just people imbibed that and took it a little too personally.
I will fully admit that when it comes to me, like a lot of people do, there's like whole YouTube's channels dedicated to the idea of like rewatching and then reanalyzing something. I don't have that ability to rewatch, at least from what I've noticed with stuff in the past, that very rarely when I rewatch something does it not hold up, because I'm more emotionally tethered than analytically tethered to the things that I like. So when I rewatch 10 Things I Hate About You, it's more indicative of how it made me, you know, the saying, it's like people won't remember what you said to them, they'll remember how you made them feel. Yeah. That's very true of movies to me. I won't remember how it was made, I will remember what it evoked from me at the time. So when I rewatch it, it brings back that feeling for me rather than me reanalyzing. So now, even if I rewatch it and I'm like, I don't like the way this was shot, I think this could have been done better, it's almost more endearing to me that way. It means that you were willing to, you either didn't understand the flaws, which means do those flaws even really matter, right? Or you noticed the flaws and the tone of the movie meant so much to you that you don't care.
We have some super chats still to get through here.
Okay.
Dingus Khan said 10 Things I Hate About You was based on Shakespeare's Taming of the Shrew. Another from Bookstore Thor said 10 Things is based on Shakespeare, give it a pass. And Gordon Shumway said, Mary, you should, I think you mean read The Taming of the Shrew. The play 10 Things I Hate About You is based on. The ending is more in line with your taste. I have not read that play. I looked into the synopsis of it because of watching this movie, and it seemed like it had a more complex theme of like the supposed submissiveness of wives, and that seems more interesting to me than just like a high school girl being a bitch for the sake of being a bitch.
Look, at the end of the day, you're not gonna like women women that love those traditional romance stories or love the idea of that type of movie. They're not going to recoil at the idea of him like singing on like where he sings in the stadium to her. Yeah, like they're gonna love that idea, even if it would be like would it even be that real in practice, like in real life? But a woman would love the idea of a dude going out there. Also, he's not a great singer, and I like that.
Yeah, he's not.
Like that's the
point. Was it supposed to be bad?
But that's it's not so it's not so bad that it's noticeable, but it's not audio dubbed to sound like he's a great singer, which means that he puts himself out there.
They would get like an A&R from
they would just hire actors that can sing.
Charlie Puth.
This is the thing we talk all the time. Me and Olivia talk all the time. It's like every TV show that hires actors that can sing, they have to work in an episode where they sing because they need the vanity of proving that they also sing on top of act. But the fact that it's not good means that he puts himself out there emotionally, and he puts himself in a situation where it's like he doesn't care that he sounds bad. he's professing something to her, and that's important.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.